Hey guys, this is Nathan, and welcome back to Vintage Story on the Aura Fury server. Hope you guys are doing good today. I am doing great. So, this episode, I've got some pretty big plans for resource collection because we are very much lacking on resources to be able to build our pyramid here, and we need to get a lot more stuff for our farming area as well. So to that end, I am cooking some new molds. So we are doing some pickaxe molds here right now. I've already made some long blade molds, and I am going to be making a prospecting pick mold. Now over here I have 14 units of copper smelting, so we are actually up to full temperature with the sticks there. So let's go ahead and swap over to charcoal now in that, so that we can start actually smelting this copper. And then of course I'm just cooking some lunch here in the middle. But yeah, we are going to be using a lot of copper tools because we have a lot of copper. Now, I did break my iron pick, but that's just something that we can expect to have happen. So yes, there's a lot of stuff to be cooked here, and actually there's our food done, and I love how easy it is to work with these better crates. They are just absolutely amazing. We need to make a lot of those, but in order to do it, we need a huge flax farm so that we can make lots of linen. So yes, linen has become even more valuable thanks to those, but it makes sense. So yes, we have this stuff smelting, we have this stuff cooking, and it's all just going to take time. So I guess I will get to all of this preparation stuff, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. So I have been giving some thought to how I want to make the farmland for supporting myself in chicken plays, and I think the best way to do it, and it would make total sense, would be to have some stone reinforced terraces. So I started looking around the area, and I found this area just a little bit off to the east of the base that has a decent amount of hill to it, and so we can make this into a terraced area quite easily. So yeah, I am going to clear all of these trees back. Obviously I'm not collecting saplings because we have way more saplings than we need. But the other thing is we are going to need a huge amount of stone. So we need to get that stone collected as well. And I'll see you guys after a bit. So Chicken Plays and I have been doing a lot of resource collection. We've got 2 massive piles of peat here. That's very nice. I don't know that it should really be stacked up like that, but it works. We also have a lot of the andesite stones, a lot of dry grass, sticks, low fertility dirt, and a lot of wood. And also, if I pull the chest off of my back, we collected a whole bunch of clay, so we can make a lot of these stones into cobblestone now. But before we do that, we need to now move on to making the bricks. So for that, we need a little bit of andesite rocks. We'll go ahead and grab a few of those and a couple of sticks. And so we need sticks and the rocks. How does this work? We gotta look here. Okay, so yeah, I had the recipe wrong. That's fine. But so this is going to make the quern, and the quern is used for grinding up the limestone. So if we place this down and grab a little bit of limestone, put that into the quern, then we can grind this into lime. So this lime, if we look at the uses for this, we can use this to make lime water. And the lime water is water in a barrel plus lime, and that will be used for making leather, or we can cook it into quicklime, and the quicklime can be used for plaster, and slaked lime. Slaked lime is again water in a barrel plus quicklime, and this stuff is used to make mortar, which we need to add sand to it in the barrel to make the mortar. The mortar is then used to make all of our various bricks. So yeah, we've got a little bit of stuff to do here. So yeah, I guess we've got lots of stuff to grind up, lots of stuff to bake in fire pits. So yeah, let's get to it. So we've got a lot of stuff taken care of here so far. So we have chicken plays running the quern that is grinding limestone into lime. Then we've got fire pits cooking that lime into quicklime. And now I have set up a barrel with a water source next to it, and this is where we're going to make our slaked lime. So the ratio is 4 quicklime to 1 liter of water. Well, 1 bucket of water is 10 liters. So we can only do 1 bucket at a time. But if we take and go down to 40 quicklime, now we can put this 40 quicklime in here, and that will turn into 40 liters of slaked lime. Now this slaked lime we need to combine with sand, and we do not have enough sand. So I need to grab a little bit of sand. Let's see, we should actually have some back over here. And I don't have a shovel either. So I just gotta punch this sand, and we'll fix this up later. Okay, so here's a little bit of sand. So we just need 4 more pieces of sand. And now we will put this 40 sand into the slaked lime, and that is going to make a lot of mortar. So if we dump this in there, there we go, 320 mortar. Now these are used for making our bricks. Now to make bricks, we need some additional stuff. So I did some smithing and made a chisel, and then we need a hammer. And so we will get a little bit of this stuff off of our hotbar. We don't need all of this, but we do need the hammer and the chisel. And then we come over here and we grab a stack of quarried rock. So now the quarried rock, we will combine that with the chisel and the hammer, and that is going to make polished rocks. Now the polished rocks we put back in, and each of those is going to give us 2 polished slabs. So now we'll have 2 stacks. Then we combine those again, and each stack of slabs is going to give us 4 bricks. Now each of those bricks, then we can take our mortar and combine that with the bricks, and this is going to make the brick blocks. So yeah, so that is 32 quarried stone. We will get a stack of bricks, and you can see that used a fair amount of the mortar, full 64 of them. But yeah, so getting the bricks is not an easy task. The other thing is the mortar stacks only to 64. So when you make a large batch of mortar like that, don't break the stack apart. Always keep that stack as a large stack. But yes, we have our first little bit of andesite bricks. That is nice. So yeah, I'm going to make up a few more of those. We need those for the edge of our pyramid, but we're not going to be working on that right now. Instead, we are going to be working on our farmland over here. So yeah, and actually it looks like I need to refill the quern for chicken plays. He is actually busy doing other things at the moment, so he's just kind of AFK with something on his mouse. But yeah, so the other thing to think about is the fact that peat works really good for firing the lime into quicklime, but it takes 2 lime per quicklime. So yeah, it takes a lot of lime, a lot of peat, just in general a lot of resources to do bricks. So yeah, I'm going to try to get a whole bunch of the bricks made up, both in stairs, or well, all in stairs slabs and full blocks. And I'll see you guys in a little bit. So Chicken Plays and I did a whole bunch of work around the base here. We harvested a whole bunch of clay, like I said, and we got all of the slaked lime and mortar made up and made bricks. And then I worked on a path out this direction. We did some terraforming in the area, and we started setting up the terraced gardens. So I'm really happy with how these turned out. They are doing really good, and I think it looks really nice. So we've got the stuff growing there. We've got cattails across the front in the water channels that are hydrating all the farmland. And we've got a lot of stuff that is grown, fully grown. But I need to get at least one more harvest out of my oak trees that are over here, which we've got quite a few over here. And then maybe we can get some bees to actually start harvesting, because these guys should be swarming very soon. So everything is going really good. Yep, less than a day. So that's all going good. Also met up with Derp up in the spawn area, and so I went ahead and grabbed a bunch of obsidian while I was up there. So we've got a bunch of obsidian stones so I can make better tools. These have better durability than flint. And yeah, that's real nice. So we've got all that going. And yeah, I've got a whole bunch of tree harvesting to do. And hopefully we can get some more stuff taken care of. Well, that's a lot of bare trees. So I got all the leaves knocked off of the oak trees here, and it took 5 pairs of shears to do that. So I had to make some more shears in the meantime. So to do that, I had to smelt some more copper, and I made a whole bunch more tools. So we have a couple extra swords, 10, is it 10? No, 8 extra pickaxes, and 2 prospecting picks. So we need to do some prospecting. Of course, we'll wait for winter time to do that. But also, while I was removing the leaves, we had a sheep wander into the area. So I dug a hole and put it in there. So that ought to be good. So, yeah. Now I get to knock all of these tree trunks down, and this is going to take a lot of tools to do that. So, see how much we get there. Also, by the way, I had to make another barrel just for the sticks, because we actually have over 3,000 sticks now. So we have 91 oak blocks right now. Let's see how many we get. So I have cut down all of those oak trees, and my gosh, did we get a lot of wood. So because of the stack size of logs and the fact that these crates hold stacks, we can only fit 512 logs in a barrel, but or in a crate. But we have a full crate of logs now, plus 11 in our inventory, which means we got about 430 logs out of these trees. That is absolutely insane. And that was only about half a stack of saplings. And what I've got planted over here is 2.5 stacks of oak saplings, as well as a stack of maple saplings. So there are 3.5 stacks of saplings out here. That is going to be a lot of wood that we can harvest through the winter. But at this point, I actually need to go out and get more stone, because we are starting to run a little low on the andesite stone here. And with all of the bricks that we've made, that's not right. And I got 3 temporal gears and a temporal storm. It's very nice. But the stones, with making the bricks, we are actually down to only 39 rocks now. So we need to go and get a whole bunch more of the quarried rock. So yeah, I need to go and get that taken care of. And those picks are going to be really handy for that. So Yeah. Another thing I've noticed, the rot actually deteriorates inside of a chest. So I am going to stop putting that in a chest. I'm going to try leaving it in my inventory and see what that does. And what am I looking for? This chest. But I'm going to see if that helps on the rot decomposing. And yeah, like I said, I'm going to go and get a whole bunch more stone. And I'll see you guys in a little bit. I was mistaken. Chicken plays must have moved the rot. So yeah, actually our rot is fine. So yeah, that is kind of weird that I didn't see that a little bit ago, but whatever. Alright, see you guys in a bit. So I got back from getting a whole bunch of stone, and I was gonna start building, and I realized everything was ripe over here at the farm. And so I started harvesting this, and I realized we really need to be prepped for winter. So rather than doing more building, I think we are going to do some stuff for prep for winter. Which actually I guess will take a little bit of building, because what we're going to need to do is get ourselves a full cellar, and then we are going to need to get the things to fill the cellar. So how on earth do I get up to that next level? Looks like I actually have to go to the outside to get up there. Yeah, this will all get better as time goes on. But yeah, we need a lot of crocks as well as shelves so that we can have our food prepped and on shelves and stored for the long term. So that is definitely something I'm going to have to look into. The other thing is we are going to need to be able to have this stuff sealed in crocks. And really, my inventory is full. That's actually good. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we actually need to do to be able to get our food storage secure for the winter. So I'm going to harvest the rest of this, and then we'll take a look at some of that stuff. So to start out, we are going to be doing a huge amount of pottery. So we need to make a lot of these raw crocks. Now these are not exactly a difficult thing to make, but they are a bit time consuming. And so, yeah, this is not exactly going to be terribly fun, but it's one of those necessary evils, I guess. But so, yeah, we've got a lot of one-by-one placing of voxels to do. And then, of course, we have to cook these, and then each of these will be able to hold 4 servings of a meal. So our standard prep in a pot will make 6, so we want to make at least 2 pots of the exact same thing when we prepare food in order to be able to have 3 full crocks. So that's something. One thing that I have found with these crocks is you can never seem to have enough of them. So I am going to make tons of these. And when I say tons, I mean tons. Probably a good 30 or 40 of them. So, yeah, this is going to just be a time-consuming thing. And I'll see you guys in just a bit. And even better yet, they don't stack. So I have made a bunch of crocks. So we have 1, 2, 3 chests full of crocks and half a chest of clay pots. So this will allow us to cook a lot of food and then store a lot of food. The issue is, where do we put it all? So underneath the beginnings of the pyramid here, I started a cellar. Now, I don't know for sure if this is going to work. Having these here may be a bit of an issue, but we can come into here and we have room for all 48 of those crocks. Now also, underneath the shelves we have room for 3 storage vessels on each side, and this back wall can be expanded back. So, I'm actually thinking I am going to replace these blocks with just full bricks, because I think that might look better anyway. So, yeah, we've got that going on. So now the next thing is I need to do a lot of cooking. So we'll have the ability to make 9 pots of food at one time, and I'll have to plan out how I am going to actually cook that to make sure that we end up with the proper number of crocks filled every time. Now, the other thing is, I don't know how much food we are actually going to get from our current reserves. We have a fair amount of reserves. At the moment, we have a full storage vessel of grain, and then we also have a storage vessel that is mostly full of vegetables. We also have a huge amount of these berry bushes out here, so we can turn a large amount of our grain into porridge. And I'm going to try to make foods that will have a decent saturation level. So, yeah, this is going to take a little bit of thought to figure out for sure what I want to do. And also, I have replanted everything. So we have all of our grain planted here and there and out in our gardens, our terraced gardens. And we also have all of our vegetables out there. So, yeah, we've got a lot of stuff still to work out here on the storage. Well, this is always fun. So, we've got a heavy temporal storm. And we have a nice little collection pit for all of these drifters. So they think that they can pathfind over the trapdoors, and they walk right into the hole. But the other thing is there are drifters inside of this garden over here. And this is all tilled farmland. So that tells me that drifters can spawn on farmland during at least a temporal storm. So that's rather interesting. But yeah, we just kind of sit here on top of this little pillar on top of this pit, let all the drifters walk in, and when the temporal storm is over, we'll go ahead and kill them all. And that should give us a lot of very nice loot. That's my hope anyway. Unfortunately, I'm out of food, so hopefully I don't get too hungry during this storm. But yeah, Stormy Piano seems to be having a bunch of trouble. Quite a few corrupt drifter kills there already. So yeah, we'll see how things go. Well, I did end up dying, but only after the temporal storm was done. I went to get off of my pillar, and it opened a chest rather than placing a chest, and I ended up falling into the pit with the drifters. Now, I actually was able to get out, but yeah, that didn't work out so good. But yeah, it looks like we did get a ladder, so let's go ahead and get back up here. Chop down the chests that I was standing on, because I actually was very unprepared for that temporal storm. I had not seen the messages for it coming, and yeah, the only block per se that I had on me was the chests. But we have gotten at least one rusty gear and a little bit of flax, and there's our first temporal gear of the storm, so that's good. And I believe, yeah, we've got a couple more in here, and that should take care of everything. So yeah, once I kill these guys, then we've got all of the temporal storm remnants gone. So, yeah, and I'm really confused how these guys are able to spawn here, but I guess that's the way that it goes sometimes. Oh, another rusty gear. Very nice. So yeah, these temporal storms actually end up being pretty profitable. We got a couple of rusty gears, temporal gear, and some flax fibers out of that. So very nice. I'm pleased. So the next thing that we need for our food preservation is actually a pretty simple one, and that is to get our bees to actually be able to start producing. Now I noticed that something kind of went wrong here with the swarming, and they all swarmed to one skep. I don't understand why, so we need to start moving these guys. And so for that we need to have a large fenced area to be able to put the skeps in. And the main reason we want to fence this is so that we can keep raccoons out, which will actually mess up our bee skeps. So we're going to just fence off a decent sized area, keeping away from any of those type of areas like that, so that they can't get in. Now another thing that we could do is to make a trap around the exterior of this, and it might be something that I do later on. I don't know. We'll just have to see, because a trap like that will give bush meat pretty much all the time. But so then we'll have this nice decent sized area for the bee skeps, and I want to put the skeps on some aged wood. That's just something that I'm thinking would look kind of neat. So we are going to do this. Oh, I'm one block off. Dang it. Well, that doesn't take too long to fix. But I want to put these skeps on the aged wooden planks because I think that'll look kind of neat. So that is one thing that I'm going to do. The other thing will be then to grab a whole bunch of flowers, which Chicken Plays and I did collect quite a few. And so that's going to be some things that we can put in here to give the bees flowers. And yeah, then we should be able to start actually having bees producing honey. And then all that we have to do is come out every once in a while and harvest a few skeps, and we'll be fine and ready to go. And wow, I just broke my axe. And I don't think, yeah, I don't have another one on me. Okay, well, anyway. So yeah, we're just going to spread out some skeps in here. And hopefully we can get a decent amount of bees. And here comes that next batch of oak trees growing. I don't quite understand why there is so much random variation in these. You know, some of them are growing right now, some of them are up to 2 days off. I don't know. But one thing that I wanted to share with you guys before I go, so I had forgotten how to actually pick up bee skeps. I knew that it could be done, but I had forgotten how. So the way that you pick one of these up, so we'll pick up a different one, is you need to make sure that you have an empty location in your storage area, and then you press Control and the number of the empty one. So in this case 4, and it will select that location. So then what we can do is come in here and grab a skep. With that skep that has bees in it, we can take it to wherever we want and place it back down. So that's actually how moving the skeps works. So yeah, I kind of need to keep that in mind, but we do have a lot more bees here now, which is really good. So once we start to see the yellow inside of the skeps, we can harvest those, and then we can replace them with new ones. Now I have set up a chest here for more empty skeps, which I think is going to be something that will be important. But the main reason that we want that is to be able to seal our crocks. And we can take honey and, or well, not honey, we can take wax and use that to seal a skep. So we do have some honey somewhere around here. So Chicken Plays actually accidentally broke one of the bee nests that we found over there by where we were making the terraced gardens. So yeah, we could have had more bees, but I think we're doing okay. But so then the next thing that you do is you can either do this into a bowl or into a bucket. We're going to do it into a bucket, so we'll place down a bucket and we will just shake out the honeycomb into the bucket, and that is going to give us a little bit of bucket or honey in the bucket. So we have half a liter of honey in there, and then we have 2 beeswax. So now what we can do with the beeswax, obviously we can make candles also, but we can take a couple of these crocks and we can take beeswax and combine that with the crock, and that is going to make a sealed crock. So currently this is fresh for 4.2 days in my inventory. Now it's going to be 35.4 days. So we'll go ahead and seal up these 2 and put them back on the shelf. And we can see now that those 2 are good for 133 days each, whereas the others are only good for about 15 3/4. So yeah, that makes a huge difference. So yeah, that is the whole plan here, and everything seems to be working good. So I've also set up a table down here that we can set crocks on that we are eating out of. Made a couple more storage vessels to put down here so that we can store harvests. I just harvested the turnips again. I've also been going around looking for field mushrooms and bolete mushrooms because those are going to be kind of important as well. And the soybeans are going to play a big role in stretching out our vegetables as well. So yes, very good, very good. And then also we have a huge amount of grain, and we will be getting more of that as these crops finish up their growth cycle. And it actually looks like we've got some spelt that already has. But that is going to be it for this episode. So I'm going to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, be sure to give a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. If you have any thoughts about what I've been working on or anything that you would like to see, be sure to leave that down in the comments. And I will see you next time. Bye!